Hello, everybody. Hope you all doing well tonight. Got a little bit of rain here lately. Last hour cleared off right now, and yeah, feel pretty good right now. Feels pretty good. Won't be in here long tonight. Just kind of in and out, basically, kind of chilling there. We got things to do here. Everything. Started once not to have one tonight. Now we'll go ahead and have a short one anyway. Kind of keep things going and everything. Welcome Shawnee and Storms into the house. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting our good share of rain. That's a pretty good little rainstorm we got. Nothing major, no warnings or anything like that. But anymore, you never know, just because they're not broadcasting it over the National Weather Service don't mean that it could turn nasty within a second. One of them things called a tornado could drop out. It's all up to them. Anything that's got to do with a storm, I keep my eye on it. And it's not being paranoid, that's just being cautious. We don't want to get complacent. We don't want to. So that's when you start getting complacent, that's when bad things could happen. Yeah. But anyway, been getting some tomatoes out. Some that it's starting to turn. I'm just going ahead and picking them off the vine and setting them up. Even setting up some green tomatoes, just go ahead and picking them off the vine and setting them up. Yeah, I'm wanting to get them out of there as quick as possible. Went there earlier and got some tomatoes and got a bunch of ripe ones and some was not so ripe. I got a little system set up where I can just, filter them out, rotate them, whatever. I'm still eating on them. I've been giving them away and different things. Hello there, Carol. Welcome in. Yeah. This week has been a good one. Been a good one. At least we haven't had a storm, a tornado this week, like last week. Yeah. I ain't got too much to talk about. Just let the topic speak for itself. We all social media is the worst thing for it. It's Facebook. especially. Everybody seems they want to put out their dirty laundry, or they think that people needs to know every little thing they do. The reason why I bring it up tonight, I just, it ain't nothing big or anything. I just kind of getting a little tired of seeing it. It's not as bad as it was, but my Lord, they act like they have to just tell the whole world what they're doing. And it's like, I guess they get that dopamine hit off of it, I guess. I don't know. Unless they're your close friends or something like that, I mean, there's no reason why anybody else should know about it, anything. But you see it a whole lot. I try to overlook it a lot of times, but it's just like sometimes it's just right in your face. Yeah. That's basically what it is, Shawnee. Fishing for what's the word I'm wanting to say, fishing for compliment, or I guess maybe just to be noticed, And I have to give them credit where the credit's due. I mean, a lot of people don't even know they're actually doing it. To be honest with you, I don't think that's the case. I think it's it's so used to doing it, and you wouldn't go around in the real world and tell everybody your troubles, especially a stranger. I don't know, but that's not much of a topic tonight. But I couldn't think of anything else quite to put out there. A whole lot of it's attention, Johnny. A lot of it. We all have stress from time to time, and it's how we deal with it is the important part. Everybody deals with it differently, but some people can't deal with it. I don't know. This world it is stressful, to say the least. I can't. I don't pay attention to a lot of it. I kind of let it go, pass on by. No, I don't look on social media for advice either, there, Barry. But it seems like everybody else does. It's just like a place they ain't got nobody else to talk to, I guess. Don't know. There's Homestead Aquarius. Yeah. Well, I hope everybody's doing okay. Not been down with the flu or anything like that. I'm thought I was coming down with something the day before yesterday, and was kind of trying to hope it wasn't something, but it eventually went away. It was like a fluish type feeling, feverish type. And I said, "Oh my God, I believe I'm coming down with something sure as heck." You know, you get that feeling where you just know that you're coming down with something. My body wasn't aching or anything. It was just like how I felt, real feverish. But it eventually went away on its own, I guess, because I just got my mind off on something else, I guess, and went on about my business. You know, it ain't been too hot here last few days. It was a little hot Monday. I think I got way too hot than I normally would. Didn't feel like it at first, but after I got back home, dude, I took a shower and buddy, it seemed like after I took a shower, I got worse. I couldn't. I like I never got cooled down. Seemed like. You go ahead and make your smash burgers there and lurk. That's good there. Feed yourself, homestead. Yeah, I ain't gonna keep it too long tonight because not as long as I have been. I'll probably be out here by 10 or 10:30. I got some things to do. So, but yeah, it was Monday there, Barry. Monday. Didn't actually think it was, didn't think I was getting that hot. I kept hydrated and everything, but as that day I went down to church and we was working on the church and putting new handrails in and everything, and just sitting there, kind of doing the job. And after it was all done and went home, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord, it was rough. I like to never got cooled down. I took one shower, but I think that was probably the worst thing I could have done. I kind of wanted to take another one before the night was over with, but I eventually got better and everything. Yeah, I don't know. But other than that, it's been a pretty good week as far as the temperature wise, the climate. It ain't been too bad. We got a couple good rains and everything and kept things cooled off and stuff. I got all my mowing done and everything, and just been concentrating on little small projects I had around the house, to do just stuff like, piddling stuff. I wouldn't I wouldn't think so there, Shawnee. You can ask him if you want to. Yeah. You know, we got to get our bodies acclimated to it, the heat. I like to think that I'm pretty much acclimated to it. Now, I don't like it. It's uncomfortable at times, but I can stand it a lot better than a whole lot of other people. You know, it's not used to being out a whole lot. Uh, you got to get that vitamin D into you. You know, get it in that sun, find you a good shade somewhere, just kind of sit back and soak in some of that vitamin D. You don't want to get sunburned or anything, but find you a good shade and soak it in. Yeah, my garden, I'm working on my garden, trying to get things out of it. I probably have some tomatoes for another month or two, maybe month. I've been picking them off the vine, like I said earlier, just as they're starting to turn, because there's no need of having them on there, because that plant gave that tomato all the flavor it's going to, and there's no difference in the taste whether you leave it on the vine or off the vine. I'm experimenting a little bit on green tomatoes. I took some solid green tomatoes, took them off the vine and setting them up, see what to do. Because you got to stay ahead of it, because if you let it go too long, you know, without picking them, they get that rot or whatever it is that's going around, and there's not much you can do with it, you know. And depending on what type of tomato it is, I found this out that some plants don't have that. I picked off several nice tomatoes, fully ripe and everything. I expected them to have some sort of blemish on them, but no, perfect. And I've got 4 or 5 different types, and I wished I had kept a record of which one done the best job. You know what I'm saying? But I did not. But we learn as we go. You got to adapt to the climate, because it's not like it was 20 years ago, by no means, or 10 years ago. And you got to just do what you can do. I mean, you can have your tomatoes up on a trellis and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure even if you got them up on the trellis, it's still going to do that. It's going to have it rot on it. It's atmospheric. Now, some of it is due to calcium deficiency, and I've not had those blossom rots this year. I've had them. It's some sort of small little dark area comes on them, and if you leave them on there too long, they'll rot down in it. I guess it's a early form of it, but usually if you catch that tomato just right, you can just cut that part off and continue on with it. You know, eat it, whatever, can it. But been doing that, and I still got all my watermelon and my potatoes. We pulled one watermelon out day before yesterday, and I didn't check it to see if it was ripe or not yet, but I'll probably leave the rest where they're at until the last of this month. And everything. Then I'll pull them out. Then I got to get everything chopped down, and I'm gonna mow them down so I can get to my potatoes later on. Got to get everything out of the way for them. My garden this year is completely opposite than it was last year. It's acted differently. And what I thought would work this year, no. I'm going to have to put if I do any watermelons next year, it's going to be in a totally different area. It's not going to be nowhere near my main garden. Yep, that's the only way to do it. But we'll see what happens next year. We might not. Things might change from now and next year. You never know. Well, I seen Shawnee's live about her garden, and well, not live as video, but it looked pretty good there. I mean, she's having the same problem everybody else is. Our weather hasn't completely cooperated with us too much this year. It's either been too wet to where you couldn't get in there and tend it, or been too dry and nothing's growing, But we just got to do with what we can do and let everything else take its place, It will. Seems like, you get frustrated sometimes, you put all that work into it and everything, and it don't take but just a little thing to completely throw everything else off. You can be down for 2 or 3 days with an illness or something like that, like I was earlier, and where you've been keeping it clean and easy to access stuff, everything, the weeds just take it. My problem was with my garden, I was down with them 4 days and I didn't want to do anything because of my situation. And then Dad Jim watermelon vines were everywhere. They stretched all over that garden. And on top of the watermelon vines, the morning glories took over at the same time. So you had a big mess. It just like walking through it, getting to my tomatoes, is just like walking through the Amazon jungle. You're trying to chop in big, thick vines out of your way and everything. And them little morning glories, when they take root, they take root. Now, up to that point, I was keeping it pretty clean, you know. But like I said, there's always something that will throw everything off. I was hoping this year to hold on, man. I gotta go check my what this is. I'll be right back. Yeah, there wasn't nothing for us. That's for Eastern Park. Just a severe thunderstorm warning. Thought it was for the eastern part of the state. Uh, I don't think it got as bad through here as they thought it was going to get. The way they talked it up, you know. We're supposed to have storms the rest of the week here, off and on. So, you know, it's something to look forward to, isn't it? Huh. Yeah. I don't know. What y'all talking about? I'm not paying attention to the chat. Oh. Hey, we're safe. I don't know why. I don't know there, Homestead. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing comments. Don't ask me. I don't know there. Homestead, you know, it's just the way it. Who knows about this stuff anymore? You know, technology. I don't know why. I never know they done it. Let's see. I'm seeing all of them. All Carol's comments. There's that one. There's that one. There's that one. Maybe it's on your end. Maybe it's on your end. Oh, there's the culprit right there. I usually, when I'm reading chat, I usually don't catch things like that. Yeah, YouTube, it could be if y'all watching through YouTube. I mean, yeah, that could be a thing, you know, on that end. Who knows? But you know, yeah, I checked your gardens out there a little bit there, Tony. You know, Seeing where you got you some shrubs and all this stuff. If if any of your comments have been hid there, Homestead, it's Barry done it. So, there you go. He says no. I can't tell up here on as far as StreamYard goes. I mean, everything looks good, but on YouTube side now, that could be a different thing. And most usually it is. Bacon on smash burgers. Excuse me. Yeah. I've been wanting some trolls, but I ain't had any in a long time. I ain't had any trolls in a long time. I take great joy in deleting them. Organic ketchup and mustard. I would guess organic ketchup is made with pure tomatoes. I would say I've never had any organic ketchup. I don't even know how to make anybody a shield maiden. How do you do that? How do you make somebody a? I'll make Robert a shield maiden. If somebody explain to me how you do that, then the first one I'm going to make a shield maiden. And I'm sorry, Carol, but I'm going to make Robert a shield maiden. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Oh, I guess. Oh, what am I doing here? Okay. Well, I'll have to. I mean, I can make you a shield maiden. I don't care if that's what it's called now. I can do that. Give me a few minutes and I'll bring us up. My computer's a little slow today. and I'll be able to take care of that here shortly. Shield Maiden. What do they come up with next? Robert's already a Shield Maiden. All he needs is a dress. Let me see what I'm going to do here. I am going to show more. Okay, I'll go. I'll get to it here in a second. Just hang on to your pants. Your pants. Hang on to your pants. I'm working on it. I have to let my computer. Oh, never mind. I'm going to have to mute that. I mute that part because it's repeating everything I say. There you go. That should take effect. Now, that's all done there. Okay. It says it's done, so that's all I know. No, okay. Takes a little bit to get there, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I feel safer already. I feel safer already. Yeah. Well, there ain't gonna be much protecting. We don't allow no Indian. There's very few Indians that ever comes into to close to the fort anyway. I think it's been a couple of months or so, maybe 3 months. Probably about 2 months ago. We had a couple of trolls in there, you know. But we got so hot after them that the Indians didn't decided it was too much, and they haven't come back yet. Yeah, I kind of hope his kilt is too. I really do. That'd be something you do not want to see first thing in the morning. Is the kilt. Being open in the back. Yeah. It kind of would give a new meaning to breakfast. You know, you eat breakfast to get you through the day, morning, or whatever. Start your day off right with a good hearty breakfast. And you sit down and you get ready to eat your good hearty breakfast, and you happen to look through there and see somebody standing out in a field and their kilt is not tucked in all the way. And it's not a very, you know, the longer I talk about it, makes me not want breakfast. What do you think about that, Homestead? You got any comments? We're taking all comments. I mean, it don't have to be, you know. Yeah, Barry's live. He's been doing that new time slot. It seems like he's getting a lot of people and that new different people, you know. I don't catch it in towards the last because, you know, sometimes I get in there early, you know, but well, there you go there. I appreciate it there, Homestead, to be recognized as Captain Kangaroo because I always liked him. I always liked Captain Kangaroo. Oh, them nasty old nitrates. They're always getting in the way of people's life. Nasty old nitrates. Yeah, Captain Kangaroo of Kentucky. Yeah, that's got a good ring to it, to be honest with you. It's got a nice ring to it. I don't think it might make a good YouTube channel name, but it's a little long, but oh well. Yeah, them nasty nitrates, they always ruining people's day. Well, to be quite honest with you, it's not really so much the nitrates or any other little chemical anymore in food. It's the food in general is not fitting to eat. We don't know what we're getting unless you grow it yourself. That's the only way you're going to be confident in what you're eating. You raise your own beef and so forth. That's the only way you're going to be confident in it. You know, I ain't got the time or money or space to raise beef cattle, but or hogs for that matter, maybe some chickens. I always thought about chickens. It's all about getting me a chicken coop stuff. I really have contemplated that, but I want to do it so much different than what anybody else does it as far as their chickens are concerned. Outside where the chickens are running loose, there's not going to be no way for anything to get in there to them. It's going to have a top on it and everything. My Lord, we got so much wildlife around here that there's been a couple of neighbors that's had chickens, and pretty soon they don't have them no more. They don't have them no more for some reason. Yeah, well, that's kind of how it goes there, girl. I just take everything in moderation there, girl. I kind of do what I can do and get done, and everything else is have to wait in line. Yeah, you'd have to fix that chicken area, the outdoor part where nothing could get into it. It's really easy to do. It just takes a little bit of work, but you can't leave no space, even a small crevice, for anything to slide through there. Everything's got to be tight and together. I've been looking at chain link fence in kennel enclosures, put a top on it, put the bottom part down in concrete, about a foot deep, and bolt it to that concrete. And you put your chicken house right against it, cut you a little hole for them to go in and out. You know, even then, it's they're going to still try to get in there, but they're not going to be able to. You leave any kind of a gap at all. I mean, that regular chicken wire that you can get is no good. Well, them raccoons and foxes and everything, they just chew right through that their woven wire. Chew right through it. But that chain link fence is going to be there. You know, I'm trying to catch up on what y'all talking about. Ah, ah. Raccoons can they'll pull a baby chicken right through that, or they'll try to pull a full grown chicken out through there, but they ain't gonna. There's ways around that. You take you. I've already drawn the plans up. You take it chain link and you go around the inside of it with regular rabbit wire, that small squared hold wire. You go along the bottom of it from the inside, and you don't have to never worry about that. Yeah, it's gonna take. It would take a little bit of money to do that and work, but once you get it built, you got it. I wouldn't have maybe 2 or 3 chickens or 4 anyway. Any more than that, you'll produce enough eggs to. I got a friend of mine. He has eggs all the time. He lets it go free range, and yeah, you can do that if you don't mind losing a few of them. Yeah, chickens are too high to be let loose free range. Way too expensive. Yeah, 22 long rifle is a good fix, Carol, but who's going to sit out there and, unless you got a camera on it, that's the only way you're going to know. Yeah, homeschool science project there. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I don't know if everybody else has noticed it or not, but these days are getting long, seem like. They just drag by. I think, in the conspiracy theory out there right now is that with CERN being shut down because they're getting it ready for something else, heaven knows what that is. The story goes that since the Hadron Collider has been shut down, that time has went back to normal. Which, I mean, I can say for myself, before, let's just say a month ago, let's just say at the beginning of the year, it did seem like everything was just speeding up for some reason. I mean, you look around, you can blink your eye twice, and the week is done gone. Well, what happened this week? Where did it go? But everything, it seemed like it just slowed down now. But that's the story that's out there right now. I did say story. Well, I can't believe we're in August either, but we are. And just think about it. We only got, September, October. Well, actually, we got 3 whole months, and we'll be in November. Yeah, be old Turkey Day, Turkey time. They're saying we might have a bad winter this year, according to that super El Nino. But we'll see what happens. I don't think it's be no different than any other winter, to be quite honest with you. As back when we had all them bad winters and everything, back before the internet, we didn't pay much attention to it, really. Now we hear that, oh, it's going to have, we're going to have a bad winter on the, watch YouTube or something. They'll be talking about it. Oh no, oh no. It's just crazy. Yeah, that Hadron Collider is supposed to, the theory is that it messes with the time, which God controls the time anyway. But that's what's out there, you know. All I can say is that some days it seems like it's flying by, then other days it, it doesn't seem like it's time has passed much at all. It's like that old story, watching paint dry or something like that. But who knows? Your Watso? Watso? My dyslexia. Boy, that's a big long name word. That's a big long word. You know, uh, big long words. I ain't seen Shawnee putting out any big long words here lately. I know Homestead can't put out no big long words, but he's just like I am. Come up with them big long uh, college words. Everybody take a number and call your congressman and complain about it. Eh, I mean, some people have that problem that they look at a word and it doesn't look right. They don't know how to pronounce it. I guess that's what that means. But they don't care, they don't care to put it out there, even though they think the kids can't do it. If they have a problem with it, they don't care. I guess they. Now, this is my idea on it. I guess they think that, you know, by putting it out there for them to do it, that way they're not, leaving them out of the, you know, group, which they should already know that ahead of time that this child has some form of, handicap that they can't, you know, do them sort of things. But they don't care. That's where it boils down to it. Compassion, they don't have it. As I get older now, as I get older, big words like that, yeah. I used to like big words, like reading them and stuff like that anymore. It just like runs through me, if it makes any sense. I like reading and stuff like that, but you try to ask me to remember those big words, unless it's something like hamburger, a hamburger helper, that big long word, or is that 2 words? Something like that, I can remember. Or watermelon, or but if you ask me any other big long word, and I can't remember it. Now, dyslexia, after you mentioned it, Carol, I remembered what it was. But it took me a little bit to kind of, my brain to process it, because I couldn't remember what that word spelled. I mean, stood for. Burning her tatas. Well, I hate to hear that. It's hard to tell about Carol and Shawnee, either one. You got to put a bell on them, to put a bell around their neck just to know where they're at. Oh, you hit a button. Robert said you was burning your tatas or something like that. This is what he said. You'll have to take it up with him. Well, we got enough. I got enough shield maidens in here tonight. If any trolls do come in here, I feel sorry for them. it's pretty good when your whole chat is nothing but moderators. They don't hang around long when they see all them blue wrenches. Communal bathwater. Robert I didn't know he wore kilt. But if he does, I mean, that's okay, I guess, But if he wears one, I would think that we at least try to, out of the decency of everybody else, we want to make sure he keeps it all tucked in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like Barry. He's had a few trolls and here lately, and I don't know if y'all have or not here lately, but they'll come in there. They don't come into mine too much. Well, I think that last time I had any trolls was, like I said, about a couple months ago or something like that. But I'm not too worried about it, because my channel ain't out there like everybody else's. Mine's hard to find unless you're looking. Yeah, well, I can spot them for a mile away. As soon as they pop into chat, I'll watch them, and when I see their conversations, I usually have a pretty good indication that this guy here is a troll or gal or he, them, or they, them, or whatever they call themselves. But all you can do is just kick them out. Ain't no sense of fussing with them. You can argue with them all you day, and ain't accomplishing nothing. Yeah, they're I'll say right now that's probably the truth of it, that they're probably doing their school stuff, and that's why we're not seeing any. You may be on to something there, Carl. I am trying to get a call. But like I said, I don't know, not changing the subject or anything. I just kind of bouncing around here. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I was trying to catch the other day. Maybe it was a little bug or something like that, you know. Usually I can tell when I'm coming down with something because your whole body just feels weird, you know what I'm saying? And I just felt just like I had a fever, you know, kind of slightly aching, you know. And I said, oh, Lord, here we go. I'm going to come down with that summertime flu, which is summertime flu is pretty bad. But it went away on its own. It just kind of, you know, I think it went dormant and now it's, you know, that's just the way it goes. Yeah, well, it could be a combination of allergies and everything. Yeah, I would say that's probably it, Carol. A lot of times I said, well, there was one day there I didn't, it was nice outside and everything. I just didn't do absolutely nothing. I just kind of sit around, you know, trying to, really didn't feel like doing anything. It's just like, I'm coming down with a dead Jim flu. I know I am, or something, or COVID, or who knows. And it could be something to do with the wildfire smoke that coming into this area from out west and parts of Canada. We're getting some of that smoke. Not very much, but you can tell it. And the weatherman said we would get some of it in the atmosphere in the high up. It wouldn't be low to the ground or anything, but it'd be, you know, a lot of cloud cover and stuff. Ah. They're right there, COVID ain't nothing. I've done had it twice, so it didn't bother me. But everybody still gets it, you know. Sierra Sands. Yeah. We were getting that here too at one time. But if you never did pay no attention to the weatherman or anything, you'd never know it. The old saying is, what you don't know won't hurt you. Well, there's some truth to that. I don't know. But I may hide out here by 10:30. I was going to try to stay in here at about 11, but I don't know. I just kind of feel rough, and I need to get some stuff done. I may have to go ahead and shut her down about 10:30 anyway. Maybe take some over the counter stuff or something. Good cup of coffee probably would help. You know, I ain't got probably go get me a cup of coffee or something might take the edge off. Yeah, well, you know, we go about our business every day, you know, and we don't know. We get sick, you know, there's all kinds of bugs floating around, and you go to the store and you grab a hold of a shopping cart. Uh, there's no telling what's on there. You just about have to have your pair of gloves with you every time. And don't get me started on the public restrooms. So who knows what we catch? You know, it's the way it is, and the only way you can avoid it is not go out anywhere. That's the only way. And as much as we see the deliveries and stuff like that you can do, eventually sometimes you got to go out, and you just got to use your head. And I don't, you know, I can say that, but then again, how many times do I go to the store and remember to take me some gloves with me? Never. His holes, wow. Acid? Wow. That sounds to me like a serious medical condition. Yeah, that there's them fires. That's what we was talking about. Yeah, they're getting some bad fires over there. Yeah, I pray that she's doing all right. You know, it's safe and everything. It's at West, them fires they just burn with a mind of its own, and Barry's pie hole. I hate to hear about Barry. You know, him having acid coming out of his pie hole and stuff. That's pretty bad. I hate that acid reflux. Over time, it can ruin your esophagus too if you don't get it taken care of. Yeah, that's a bad deal there when you're stuck in that position and have to rely on other people to get you out of there, you know. But if the power come back on, they might be in a, you know, out of the danger for right now. Maybe, who knows? But them wildfires ain't nothing to play around with. They, especially out west, you know, it's bad. It's bad, and there's people doing setting them fires, and some of them can be contributed to lightning strikes, but not the percentage on that is low. Most of it is done by arson, a good percentage. I would say 95% of it is arson. Now, lightning can strike, and it doesn't even have to be a cloud out there or a storm. It can just strike, especially when the atmosphere is so energized that it's just like builds up so much energy and it has to release it. But I didn't know that, and yeah, it's a thing. Oh yeah, that's what I need. Something else to think about. Oh, it's a nice, beautiful day today. I hope we don't get struck by lightning. But that's the way it is. If we can't do anything about it, it's better off not to worry about it too much. Be mindful of everything, but not let it consume you. You know, yeah, those data centers out west, out in the desert, they was pretty high on building a whole lot of them out there in the desert until the water became an issue and everything. Uh, Now I think that is uh, being put on hold. I think all these data centers going up, people are the ones, well, people are getting mindful of it that these things here are causing more problems than they're worth. And you take a lot of places, they're having water shortages as it is without having something like a data center coming in and sucking up all the water that is available. And once that water comes back out, it's not clean. It doesn't matter what they do to it. It's still not going to be fit to drink. So what do they do with it? Some places they spray it on the ground. I've seen. So what does that do? Well, it just drains right back into or goes right back into the soil, and there you go. Well, Unfortunately, Carol, you'll probably get all the rain you want there for too long. You're in the hurricane prone areas there, so I hope you get some rain without having a hurricane. But you know what I'm saying. And these data centers, all these that they're wanting to put up, you can see that they're not giving a hoot about the repercussions of everything. It's all about money, and they're investing money into these things, and they're going to expect a return, and that's just the way it goes, and it's all about money. We'll put out we'll build a whole bunch of these data centers, and yeah, we're gonna be making some money. But with these AI and everything, it takes a lot of resources, and my take is that it's going to be done whether we want it or not. They can have all the moratoriums they want, but at the end of the day, it's going to get done. They're going to build them. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's getting Robert's right. The beast system is already built. Really, all they have to do is flip a switch, and they can do it overnight. It's called Great Reset. Reset everything worldwide, and that's why they want all these data centers, so that they can have control. Just like all these flock cameras and stuff like that, that's going up everywhere. Everywhere. Places that you would never think would need a flock camera. You'll drive by there, and the next day you'll drive by there again. There's one stuck up there. It's almost like they planted it with a seed and it growed overnight. Well, we got two within 3 miles of here at the intersection. One pointed north and one pointed south on the US 127, which is a federal road. And common sense would dictate that, well, if you're going to have them pointed north and south, then you should have two pointed east and west. But no, only north and south. Well, Mercer County, they've been fighting that for seemed like a year now, but I believe at the end of the day, they're going to put it in there. It's all about money. They do not care about what the people think. They don't. They're going to put them in there. You take somebody that's invested millions of dollars into that, they're not going to sit back and let 400 or 500 people dictate whether they make money or not. And that's where it's all boils down to, is the money. at the end of the day. But it is part of the system, and I don't like it, but they're coming out with well, they've already got AI drones now already that's connected to the flock cameras in some places that can launch drones right there on the spot. They got their own little hangar bay, and they can launch drones at any time from that one point, and controlled by AI. But, you know, I don't know. I don't like it, but you might be able to cut corners around them right now, but eventually you're not going to be able to. There are going to be so many of them out there that they're going to know your every move. Unless you, even if you lived out in the woods, away from everybody, they're going to still know what you're doing. As long as you got that little thinger in your hand called a cell phone, yeah, they're going to know exactly where you're at. So that's the way things are. But anyway, I think it's almost 10:30, and I'm just going to go ahead and shut her off right now. My throat's already starting to get a little bit scratchy, so I better not do too much more talking tonight. Good to see everybody in there, and appreciate y'all coming in and visiting. Barry Carroll, Homestead Aquarius, Shawnee, everybody else out there catching the replay. Have yourself a good night, and a better day tomorrow. And be safe out there, and take care of yourself. And God bless y'all. Have a good one.